Discover the depth of faith beyond the pews. Welcome back to More Than a Sunday. We are in our season called Numbers. This is episode 3, and I'm joined with my very good friends, Sam and Karyn. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, if you're just listening, I encourage you to watch because you might know that they are daughters by what they're wearing. They're absolutely matching right now. I love it.
This was not planned, just so you know.
It's not planned. The olive green looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me today as we continue in Numbers. So in the book of Numbers, in the Bible, we read all about 2 different generations, and they couldn't be more different from themselves. So one generation escapes Egypt, the second generation is born into the promised land, and so they react and respond to things so differently, but throughout all the generations that ever were and ever will be, we serve the same God who can relate to us personally, who knows us and sees us deeply. And so we're talking today about the differences and the similarities in our generation. So I'm joined by Sam Justice, who is none other but a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, what's
Thanks
going
for
on?
joining us.
Thanks for having me.
This is so much fun.
So fun.
So, Sam, growing up, what was your favorite TV show to watch?
Oh, growing up, probably Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. Okay,
yeah.
that's classic.
I definitely was a Disney girl more than a Nickelodeon girl, so
Okay.
Hannah Montana.
Okay, love it.
Yeah.
And then I'm joined by her beautiful mother, Karyn Justice, who is Gen X.
Gen
Karyn,
X.
welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that you're here. What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Not Hannah Montana.
Okay.
Little House on the Prairie.
Oh boy.
Was that a TV show or a movie?
It was a TV show, Allie.
I thought it was a book.
Well, there was a book series,
Okay.
but it was a TV
Interesting.
show. Yes, my absolute favorite.
Wow.
Loved it.
So, Gen X, millennial. I happen to be in Gen Z. So we have a little bit of a different perspective, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to talk about that, and we have 3 different rounds that we're going to dive into. The first one is lighthearted, rapid-fire questions. Are you ready to jump into it?
Ready.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. What is your favorite song or musical artist?
So I'm not much of a music girly. I will
Okay.
mostly listen to podcasts. But if I had to choose, I would say Josiah Queen. He's like top right now for Christian artists. And then I also love Noah Khan.
Yes.
So they're very similar.
Yes. Same
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Those would be mine.
What about you, Karyn?
I have no idea who those are.
You know who Josiah Queen is. I've played for you.
I do know. I would have to say Hope Darst. And the only reason is because I just heard her at a women's conference last month. I wasn't familiar with who she was, but I love her. She's great.
Wow.
Her song, The Blood of Jesus.
So good.
So good.
Yeah,
I
so
haven't
good.
heard it,
Yeah.
but I
It's
should
amazing.
listen to it.
You should
guys
listen
should
to it.
listen to it. The
For
Blood
sure.
of Jesus.
For sure. Hope Darst.
Yep.
Okay. Who was the first president you can remember?
George W. Bush.
Okay.
I thought about that one because I'm not,
That was like a very simple answer. George W.
I
Bush.
mean, it's a simple question, I guess, right?
Yep. Good answer.
For me, Gerald Ford.
Who?
No, literally.
Gerald Ford, and then Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
Okay.
Gerald.
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 Gerald Ford.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Gerald Ford.
Who's the first president you remember?
I think Bush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Right? All right. How much does a gallon of milk cost? Or how much should a gallon of milk cost?
Okay. I can get behind how much it should cost.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever actually purchased a gallon of milk
But listen,
because I lived at home and then when I moved out, it's just me. So like a gallon of milk, that's a lot of milk.
That's
for
a
one
lot of
person.
milk.
So I'm more like a half gallon, but if I had to guess, I would say like $2.50.
okay. Good guess.
Wrong.
Wrong? How much is it?
$4
$4.
$4?
for a gallon of milk.
Well, it's a good thing I don't drink it.
It was $1 when you were a kid.
Okay. Well,
A little
Wow.
over $1, maybe $1.50, but it's
Okay.
around $4 right now.
So, Karyn, so obviously Sam and I have experienced some inflation. We've seen that. But I feel like things have pretty much always been pretty expensive, grocery-wise and things like that. Gas-wise, like I've never seen gas at 99 cents. Tell us about your experience seeing inflation. Has it been like the craziest prices you've ever seen?
Yeah, gas prices, grocery prices are through the roof. And things have gotten smaller. So they've not only gotten more expensive, but they've gotten smaller. You know, you used to get 2 bags of chips for $3. Now they're like 2 for $7.
Yeah.
But they're like,
on sale.
yeah, and they're a lot smaller.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's really expensive that I noticed the other day?
What?
Eggs.
Yeah.
I always used to make egg casserole and be like, oh, this is a really easy and cheap meal.
Yeah.
Luxury meal.
Yeah.
Luxury
No, literally
meal. A whole
luxury.
carton of eggs
Yeah.
for one meal. Eggs are expensive.
They
My
are.
cousin has chickens, so we kind of have the benefit. We get some of the
nice.
eggs, but no, for sure. It's crazy.
Okay.
And I don't think they're going to get cheaper.
How much do you think a gallon of milk should cost, Karyn?
$1.50. Wow. Yeah.
Hot take.
Hot take.
All right. What was your favorite candy growing up?
So I loved parade candy, which I'm sure you could probably, when you're at a parade, right?
Oh, okay.
They
okay.
throw it at you.
It's like a brand. I'm
No.
I'm missing out.
And I'm sure you could get it in the store, but we never did. It was parade candy.
Yeah.
So the little Tootsie Rolls, the fruit ones, the purple and the red were my favorite. Or it was like a magenta. Or the root beer barrels from A&W.
What?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like a Jolly Rancher, but it's root beer flavored. And they were, A&W made them. Do you remember?
And they're in a shape of a root beer barrel.
Like a barrel. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about?
100%.
Parade candy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the root beer thing is, but
I'll
it sounds
have to
good.
I'll have to find some. I'm sure they sell them at Target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Root beer barrels.
So good. Well, if you like root beer.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, perfect.
Parade candy.
Yeah.
I like that because it was
candy.
special
No, for sure.
special occasion.
And like I said, I'm sure you could find it anywhere else, but it was special because we got it at parades.
You know what shouldn't be parade candy?
What?
Blow pops.
No, I agree. They
I've
crack.
seen people get cracked in their teeth with those things. You throw a blow pop?
No, for sure.
That thing gets some momentum.
And then
Comes down.
if it hits the ground, it's shattered.
Yeah, then it's done. Who wants that?
No, I agree. That's a good call.
Interesting. Karyn, favorite candy?
The Charleston Chew was my favorite.
You just announced that as if it was the best thing in the world.
She made a statement.
The Charleston Chew.
But also, they used to call them bullseyes when I was younger. Now I'm not sure what they call them. I still love them. It's the caramel with the cream in the middle.
Oh, like a cowtail?
Yes, but so the cowtail, now they've made them long. They used to just be round. You can still get them round in a bag. I don't know if I used to get a little pack of them that had 6 or 8 of them in there. So good. Yeah.
Caramel cream.
Caramel cream.
That sounds great. Charleston Chews. So Karyn and I actually work in the same office together. And the other day we were talking about Charleston Chews. And I said, have you ever had them frozen? And you said,
No.
have you tried it?
No, because I'm afraid they'll break my teeth.
No, Lamar. Thanks for vulnerability.
That's so true, though.
Serious?
Yeah.
So the marshmallow
Like
gets
a frozen marshmallow?
No. It gets brittle. Peanut
Oh.
brittle. Woo, girl.
Okay.
Put all those things in
That's
your
true, because
freezer.
I'm thinking frozen Snickers. That's
I know,
that's no
it.
good.
No.
Yeah.
That's probably why they made the ice cream.
For sure.
They're we can't be having people break their teeth on
No,
the
for
frozen
sure.
candy. Charleston Chews.
I'll try it.
You should.
And I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. All right. What do you want to be when you grow old?
That's a hard one. You go first.
I don't know if this is something I would be, but what I would like to do is I would like to go rock babies in the NICU.
Oh, that's such a good answer.
Because my grandsons were in the NICU.
Yeah.
And so I saw volunteers come in and I was like, this is what I want to do when I get old.
The babies. You're very nurturing. Do you think that's common among your generation?
I think so.
Nurturing
Yeah.
females rocking the babies all the time?
Yeah. Although I don't know, because I know some moms that prefer when their babies were babies and some like them better when they're toddlers. So maybe it's just personality, or I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I love me a baby.
Yeah, that's a dream. Yeah,
That is a dream. I would say probably just live a slow life so I can do things to help other people. I can volunteer maybe in the NICU with my mom, you know? Maybe at an animal shelter, maybe doing anything. Just have the ability to pick up and go where I need to go.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Slow living.
Slow living.
That's not really common among your generation, is it?
No, this is new for me.
Okay, okay. Tell me about that.
Yeah,
growing
no,
up,
for sure.
fast-paced life.
Yeah, I think the last 2 years I've really just kind of slowed down and kind of grounded myself a little bit, you know?
What's the value in that for you?
I've just seen so much change in how I respond to others.
Yeah.
And what I value and how I spend my time. I think before it was just the next best thing, and I was just trying to get there, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So when you realize this is who God made me to be. I'm going to stay here. It's pretty peaceful.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, it's so good.
She's now a homesteader.
She's a homesteader.
I'm trying.
Love that for you. All right, what is the most reliable source of media? Ooh,
Oh, boy.
We're going to unpack some stuff here. I feel it.
Go ahead.
I don't think there is a reliable source of media.
Okay. She said trick question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just, and maybe I'm a pessimist, but I just feel like there's always an agenda. Yeah, so I don't think that there's any real source that I would trust. I mean, obviously a Faith Church podcast I would trust.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like just
Yeah, I get
the
it.
news anchors, the newspapers, the magazines, they're all trying to sell something. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was like something that you would turn to growing up or even when you were a young adult, what would that be? Like, would you turn on the news for your information? Would you look at a
definitely, it would be definitely the
newspaper?
news.
Okay,
Yeah, I was not a newspaper reader. It was always the news,
got it.
which I still watch from time to time, but typically just to catch the weather.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can't really lie about the weather, but how
No.
often are they right?
I know.
That's true.
not often.
That is true.
Yeah.
I would say probably podcasts, but obviously do your research. Don't just like
Yeah.
listen to anything. There's
Right.
one I can think of. It's called The Pour Over. So it's Christian, but it's non-biased. Like it's just it's factual.
Yeah.
Just the facts.
Yeah.
And it's every day. It's like 10 minutes, and they do like the top 3 stories worldwide. Do I listen to it every day? No. But if I was going to,
Yeah.
That's
you feel like
probably-
it's kind of reliable.
for sure. Yeah.
I love that. I feel like people in Gen Z would probably say like socials, like
Yeah.
any type of social media. But even then, I mean, we know that time and time again, it hasn't been reliable. So
Yeah.
it's just hard. It's really, really tricky to understand and just know what's going on in our world.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
And I think with social media too, it's like there's so much of it.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for quick access to media, that's where you go. You'll hear whatever you're looking for.
Yes.
But it's just, can you trust it or not?
Right. All right. What was the form of social media you used growing up?
I was a MySpace girl.
Sam Justice.
Yeah, I loved MySpace.
You were on MySpace?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I did, yeah.
Wow. What was
was-
your MySpace like?
Oh, I changed it all the time. Like
Okay.
I would spend hours. I was like, thought I was a computer programmer. You could like go in and change all the fonts and change all the backgrounds, the colors, different music to go with it. I loved it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Your top 8 friends. It was the thing.
Could you change your top 8 friends?
You could. I had like a pact, me and my best friend, we're still best friends to this day. We would never change each other from our number 1. Because that was a big deal, like 7th
Yeah.
grade. But you could, you could change your top 8 friends. Yep.
So sometimes were you like, I'm taking you off my
Yeah.
You're like, it caused fights.
No, for sure. Like it was toxic,
Oh.
but it was there.
Wow. It's kind of like, it sounds like, I was never on MySpace.
Okay.
But it sounds like it had almost like a design element to
Oh,
it.
100%.
You know how people in like Gen Alpha, some in Gen Z use iPads? Have you seen that? To do like the
Yes.
planners and all the things.
Yes.
It's like all these iPad trends I'm seeing, and they love Pinterest and they do like a different color scheme for every month.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe that's the new form of like the MySpace pages.
Honestly, that's a really good comparison. For sure.
Really?
Yeah. And then I honestly would change it like on a monthly basis. So that's actually a really good connection.
Kind
You're onto
of
something.
What about you, Karen?
I don't think they had social media when I was growing up,
Thank you for being vulnerable.
because if they did, I didn't know about it.
Okay, got it. What was the first form of social media that you got?
I was probably the first that I got was Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
What have you seen change from the presence of social media? Because you've seen before the world had like, everyone had a platform, everyone had a reputation that was very public. How have things changed?
People don't talk face to face anymore.
Ooh.
People don't talk on the phone anymore. They would rather text than talk on the phone. I think a lot of misconception happens because you can't hear the voice behind it, so things are taken wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's caused more anxiety in people. They're constantly looking at what people put on Facebook and Instagram, right? And we don't put the bad stuff. We only put the
Right.
good
It's a
stuff.
highlight
and so,
reel.
so you're constantly comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
So, I don't think, there's obviously good things for social media,
Yeah.
but I think, especially for, I mean, I don't want to just say kids because it would be adults too. Like you're constantly comparing.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
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 The thief of joy is comparison. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that social media has connected people in a way that,
Yes.
didn't exist before, but it's confusing because it's this dichotomy. Like, how are we so connected yet so lonely and
Right.
so
Yeah.
like distanced?
Because they're not true relationships.
Yeah, that's hard. I think that in moderation and maybe for the right reasons, social media has a place.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we still, as human beings, like the Lord created all of us, no matter what generation we're in, we're created with this need to be in community,
Yeah.
this need to be social, this need to spend time with other human beings.
Yeah.
And that can't just exist online,
Yeah.
As much as some people would love it to exist online, it can't just be your Facebook group.
Right.
It needs to be in person. It needs to be your small group. It needs to be your church community. It needs to be your friends.
Yeah.
Face to face. So I see like a place for it, but I also think it can be overused and trying to like use it to fill this void of craving connection.
Yeah.
Should never be
Right.
the case. So
Yeah, I
For
agree.
sure. Yeah.
Interesting. I can't believe you got to witness the world before social media.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You make me feel real old.
I don't think it was around.
You're here for a reason. It's okay.
Yeah, when we were younger, it wasn't around, but we don't
Yeah.
really remember, right?
Yeah, and not like it was now. Like
No.
it was like when I first got texting, I had like 300 texts a month. Like it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so yes,
Way different.
it was way different.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, there wasn't even computers when I was little.
Yeah.
Like
That's crazy.
When I was
How
in the
did you do
workforce
life?
is when I first came upon my first computer. Like we didn't even have them in high school or grade school. Like they weren't around. Or if they were, we didn't use them yet.
And now you get like a Chromebook in first grade.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Wow.
Now we all walk around with them in our hands.
Yeah, right. That's so interesting.
I mean, kids don't have to go to the library anymore, right? Because they can look up everything
That's
online.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the library when I was
too.
little.
You did love the library. When
I
you
did.
were
I
little.
loved it.
You loved the book fair when you were little.
Just for my shopping stuff.
Did you ever get a book at the book fair?
Oh yeah, the Scholastic Book Fair.
That's all I would let them buy is a book.
I
I
never
couldn't buy
got a
any of the
book.
other stuff.
I was that kid. I got the erasers and the bookmarks.
I wanted to be that kid.
Karen, thank you.
I'm
You're
thankful for
welcome.
it now. I'm thankful for it now.
Thanks for raising Sam right.
I tried.
All right. If you wanted to fit in growing up, what did you need to have?
I'm very interested to hear what you're going to say for this. I think at different ages. I think when I was little, a fashion Polly.
A fashion Polly.
Yeah, like you know what a Polly Pocket is?
Polly Pocket, I'm
Okay, so
familiar
they were
with.
like this big. And you
Okay.
could buy all the different clothes for them. And like me and my sister had so many of them. I loved them. Yeah. And like you'd go to your friends and instead of Barbies, you'd play fashion Pollies.
Wow. You'd walk in someone's house and say, "Where's your fashion Polly?"
And maybe it was just me, but I felt like that's what all the cool kids had.
That's awesome.
And then I think getting older, probably social media. I know that's not something that you like own, but to fit in like 8th grade going into high school.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a MySpace,
What
that
are
was
you
it.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am just curious. This doesn't have much to do with this question. I'm curious though. If you were going on a date with someone
okay.
and they had no social media, what message does that send to you?
So now, green flag.
Got it.
I love
You're
that.
like, oh, good.
Yeah, like someone, like a man with a strong social presence, depending. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's his job, there's, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like if you don't have a Snapchat, green flag.
That's a great
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Plus, like, then it's just easier to dig into things that
Yeah.
you need to not judge someone right
Yeah.
off the bat. So,
Yeah, for sure. And
yeah.
it's hard. I mean, some people go to their first date and they know all the aunties' names and
Right.
everything they've
no,
done in their life.
it's so true. And you don't want to slip up. You don't, they can't know.
Right. You're like, oh, you're talking about that production of Annie that you were in 2010?
Yeah,
I've seen photos.
I saw that one. That was interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so no social media is a good thing for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you don't see that as like scary or...
No, I feel like that's like common. Most people
Yeah.
do think that way. I mean, I'm doing a quick Google search, that's for sure.
Okay,
but
just making sure nothing really crazy
no, for
out
sure.
there.
If you're not
Yeah.
on Google, then you should be okay.
Yeah, that's good. I know some people who do think like, yeah, well, they should be online and like exist and have family and friends and
Yeah.
they're not like a scary person, but I can see both sides.
Yeah, and I mean, I see that side of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Karen. What was like the thing you had to have to fit in?
I don't remember when I was little, but when I was in high school, like Jordache jeans or
Say it again.
Jordache jeans.
Are we talking about DoorDash? Not familiar.
Not DoorDash, girl. Jordache.
Jordache?
Jordache.
Jordache.
It was a brand.
And you have to say jeans after. Jordache jeans.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. They only made jeans?
That's all that I know.
Okay.
Calvin Klein jeans. Have you heard of
Okay.
Calvin Klein?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
they're
Guess
popular.
jeans.
Okay, they've rebranded, right? Or no?
Who guessed?
Guess.
Don't know.
Okay,
I just know like that's what that if you had that you were cool.
Okay.
Leather jacket was really in.
So fashion.
Fashion.
Yours was like in what you were wearing.
Shoulder pads.
Oh.
Shoulder
Oh, boy.
pads. Big deal.
Yep.
Look at
Shirts
her
with
a
shoulder pads.
Oh.
Yep.
Did it matter the brand of clothes? Because you said a lot of brands. So, like, if I wore shoes that weren't necessarily a big brand, did that matter?
I guess I just paid attention to the jeans. Like
That was your thing.
Like all the cool girls were wearing the Jordache jeans, and they were expensive.
Did they have
Interesting.
evident branding? Like, could you, like, you know how Nike has a swoosh on everything? Did they have, like, a logo on everything?
Well, it said Jordache on the pocket,
Oh, the pocket.
the back
Okay.
pocket.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cute.
Subtle. Wow. So that was the thing.
That
had to
was the
have it
thing,
to
yeah.
fit in.
Did you have them?
no.
Bummer.
You know, Karen, we love you.
You're cool in my book. It's okay.
You got all the Jordache jeans.
If I did, they were my girlfriends, and I was borrowing.
I love that. For me, I feel like, I think I've answered this in previous episodes, but I feel like it was a basement. For some reason, it was like, if you got a basement, we
Yeah.
can go and watch a movie, we can hang out. It was just like,
Wow.
that was the thing. That was what you needed to have to be cool. You'd be like, oh, come over to my house. I got a basement.
Which is like so funny because when you're 12, it has nothing to do with you.
Oh, yeah, nothing. Nothing.
Like, come over to my parents' basement.
Right, right. Nothing to do with you.
That's funny.
All right, now we're getting into a little bit deeper questions. Y'all pass the lightning round. You feeling good?
Yeah,
Are
feeling
y'all
good.
Let's keep rolling. All right. What is the best thing about being young?
The best thing about being young would probably be being naive to everything. I think the protection you get from adults when you're a child of like the state of whatever the situation is, whether it's personal or going on in the world, just not knowing is a beautiful thing. Obviously, as you get older, it creates empathy and compassion and all of those things. But I think just the simplicity of life's good is what I miss about being younger.
Yeah.
I would have to say the same thing, being naive, and you don't have the responsibilities that you do as an adult.
Yeah.
And so there's a freedom in that.
Yeah.
Somebody is responsible for everything in your life. And so, yeah, it's easier.
Yeah.
Not having to pay bills.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Recently, I'm 26, and recently I was just like, why was I always just looking forward to getting older?
Same.
Because being an adult is fun, kind of. Like, the first time you can go to the grocery store and spend your money on whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's fun. But then the bills come, and I'm like, wait a minute.
It's not as fun.
No.
And it's like, this is just what we do for forever?
Yeah.
Got it.
For forever.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that's what you wanted more than anything when you were young, though.
Yes,
know.
To be an adult.
responsibility and-
Because you felt like you could do whatever you wanted then. There were no rules.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, there's rules, obviously, but, you know,
Yeah.
parents aren't giving you rules. You can
Yeah.
do what you want.
Right.
And then you find out, like, oh, it's not so fun.
And then it goes the opposite way. You hit
Yeah.
an age and you're like, oh, I wish I could be younger.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I wish someone would tell me what to do.
Yes. Guide me.
Yes.
Tell me the rules. All right. What is the best thing about being older?
You go first.
I would have to say, as a parent being older, and now my kids are grown, it's we don't have that responsibility anymore. You still have a responsibility to your kids, but it's different.
Yeah.
And so when my kids were younger, I used to say, you know, I'm not called to be your friend, I'm called to be your parent.
Woo, tell them, Karen.
But now I can be their friend.
Yeah.
Still their parent, but it's just way different.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So,
And just the empty nest, being an empty nester, like now I have time for just my husband and I.
yeah.
So, and then that relationship grows and changes and becomes different too. So, Yeah.
So how many kids do you have, Karyn?
I have 3.
3 kids. And Sam is your
My youngest.
child.
She's
the
my
baby.
baby.
How has your relationship changed over recent years? How have things swapped a little bit as she's gotten older, as you've gotten older? How has that relationship, like you're saying, you know, you have a different kind of responsibility. What is that like now?
Well, I still speak into her life,
Yeah.
but I need to ask permission. When she's younger, I don't really need to ask permission. Like, I'm the mom. This is what you need to do because I'm training her. So it's different now.
Yeah.
I feel like we talk about more important things now.
Yeah.
You know, we share the same faith. When she was growing up, like, I was to direct her towards that faith, and now, you know, we share the same faith. And it's just beautiful seeing her grow into the beautiful woman that she is now, and all God's done in her life.
Yeah. She's got her own relationship with Jesus now.
It's great.
Wow.
I'm really proud of her.
Yeah.
I really am.
What's that difference been like for you, Sam?
It's great. I mean, my mom's my best friend. Like, we literally do everything together, and I love that. I mean, I know I wasn't easy growing up. I was strong-willed.
Sassy.
I was strong-willed. Oh, yeah. And, like, I know that. And even, I feel like with the last, I would say 5 years, really ever since I moved out.
Yeah.
I think our relationship was really able to grow in a way where, like she said, like, obviously she's my mom, and I will always go to her for advice, and I look up to her in so many ways. But it's just so nice to have that friendship and be able to be like, come to her with real life things, like dating or like work or whatever, and not feel that like barrier of, oh, like, you're my mom.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm an adult, this is my life, but let me talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Kind of like a mentorship.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's been great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Praise God for that.
Yeah, for sure.
How have your life experiences shaped who you are?
I think they've made me a lot more empathetic and compassionate. Growing up, we always did, like, we would go to the soup kitchens or women's shelters and things like that. And I think that instilled in me at such a young age compassion and empathy for other people. So as I grew up, I kind of learned that you don't really know what anyone's going through. And I think when it's instilled in you at a young age,
You almost like develop that ability to understand there's so much more.
yes.
Right?
Yes, yes,
Is
yes,
that what
yes.
you're trying to say?
Yes, yeah.
Something like you see people at face value, but now you're seeing, oh my goodness, there's so much more to their story. Everyone's
Yes.
carrying so much around.
Yes.
Everyone has their own experiences. So let's all be nice to each
Right.
other, you know?
Yeah.
We're all going through it.
And I think when you're maybe protected is the wrong word, but protected from that as a child, because it is, I mean, it's a lot to see that when you're young.
Yeah.
You don't have that understanding as
Right.
much. So I think that that's definitely shaped me into being more compassionate and empathetic.
Yeah, you're more aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I love about you is I just see you live out this. You have the ability to see someone who feels outcast. You can notice it so quick, and maybe that's based on your life experiences. You were taught that, you were trained to see that. But there could be a room full of people and everyone's just talking to their own friends. You're the one that sees someone who is lonely, someone who's by themselves, someone who is the outcast. And then you don't just see them, you'll like go and talk to them and bring them into your circle. So I really appreciate that about you.
Thanks. That's good to hear.
Karyn, how have your life experiences shaped you?
I think that one of the things I always tried to do when things got difficult was try to fix it. I want to fix it right away. How can I get out of this uncomfortable situation? And I would try everything in my power to fix it. And it wasn't, rarely did it end up well. We go through trials in our lives, and it's where God refines us and makes us look more like him.
That's a good word.
And so that is what I've learned from my life experiences. Now, when I get in a situation where something is difficult or it's uncomfortable, I don't want to sit in it, but I sit in it because I know what is going to, that on the other side of that, something beautiful is going to happen.
Yes.
Because I have been molded and developed more through my trials and hard things in life. And God has changed me so much through them. And I wouldn't be who I am today had I not gone through that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and not that, I mean, I had great things happen in my life, but there were some really hard things too.
Yeah.
And so I have to say I'm thankful for them. As hard as they were, I'm thankful for them because, I mean, God not only changed me, but has shown me more and more who he is.
Yes, I love that. When I think about going through hard things, which I'm sure there's so many people who can relate to that, what you just said. But I know that there's people who are going through really tough things. And I constantly am like, God, you're in control. So why is this happening? Yeah. And someone put it so beautifully once, and it's just stuck with me ever since. He said, it's like when growing up, when a parent wanted to form kind of like an immunity to chickenpox, they would take their child to someone's home who had chickenpox. They would get sick with chickenpox, but then later on they would have like this immunity towards it, and then shingles and things like that.
Right.
So it was like this beneficial thing. For a while, it was like chickenpox parties, and like kids would go over and they would get chickenpox on purpose so that they would be healthier in the long run. Yeah. And I just remember thinking, you know, when we're going through hard things in life, our Father who loves us, who wants to protect us, is seeing us uncomfortable, in pain, confused. Like a little child with chickenpox is crying. Why are you doing this to me? Right. This isn't comfortable. Right. I'm feeling pain. But he knows the whole plan. Yeah. The Father knows, listen, but on the other side of this, there's such joy. There's so many things you'll glean from this experience. So many things other people will glean from it. Yeah. So when we're going through pain, even when it doesn't make sense, we can just think, I've got chickenpox right now. Yeah. But the Lord has a plan.
Right.
Yeah, that's so good.
There's a meaning. There's a purpose.
That's exactly
it. To it.
That's so good.
All right. Whose opinion matters the most to you right now?
I would say my family and my strong Christian friends, like my small group. Yeah. Essentially. Yeah. Yeah. I think those are people I feel comfortable speaking into my life, so their opinion matters to me.
That's healthy. Yeah. I think that having people like close to us, putting value on them is so important. Yeah. Because so many times we can get mixed up in like strangers who want to comment crazy things on social media or whatever. Yeah. We're like, well, you don't know me.
And I mean, that definitely was me. Like a couple of years ago, I cared about everyone's opinion, except for quite honestly, the ones who I should have cared about. Yeah. You know, it was like my friends or that I shouldn't have cared about their opinion. Not that they were bad people, but there's just people who shouldn't be able to speak into your life kind of thing.
Yeah, you got to protect yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
Your family and your small group. Yeah. I love that. All right, Karyn?
I would have to say my husband for sure, and close friends. Okay. Yeah, I tend to be more on the side of people pleaser. I struggle with that. Okay. So that can become a problem. Yeah. But yeah, I would have to say close friends and my husband for sure. Yeah.
What do you value?
This is such a large question.
I know, it's kind of vast.
I would say the top 3 things would be my relationship with Christ, my family, and my alone time. Okay. Yeah, I think my whole life I always thought, oh, I'm such an extrovert, but I'm really not. I'm an extroverted introvert. If that makes sense. Yeah. I need my time to just recharge, and a lot of that is spending time with God, or sometimes just, you know, watching Netflix or whatever it is, and being okay with that. Like, this is what I need today, and that's fine.
Yeah. Learning yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Meeting your needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Karyn? I would say definitely time with my family. My kids, now that they're grown, I just love spending time with them. Yeah. Obviously, my time with Christ, my time in the morning with him. It's quiet. I get up early. And then my time with my grandsons.
Oh, your grandsons.
It's so precious.
Are you constantly like, these are the days? Yes. This is the best.
Yes. Everybody will tell you it's so great being a grandparent. You don't know till you're a grandparent. Yeah. And it is. It's the best thing ever.
Wow. All right, let's take a deep breath. Oh, boy. We are moving into the third category. It's about to get real. This is going to be so much fun, but we're gonna breeze right through it.
Okay.
It's going to be good. And you guys submitted the questions. So
we can't hold it to you that much.
No, you won't be shocked. You chose them from a pool. All right. First question. We've got 3 of them. We'll start with the first. Sam.
Yes.
What have you learned about the church?
I've learned that it's beautiful, but it's also broken. And we need to be okay with that and keep plugging in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy to let decisions or things that happen within the church that you don't agree with to steer you away. But at the end of the day, we're all broken people.
Yeah.
We're all sinners, and we're all just there trying to do our best for God.
Yeah.
So
That's good. That's
Yeah.
a good word. There's no perfect church
no.
because there's humans in there.
Yeah, I heard at a conference, I think it was Jenny Allen said, as long as your heart is set with the leadership, stay at your local church.
Yeah.
Plug into your local church because you're all there for the same reason.
Yeah.
And how are you supposed to ever grow either if you don't walk through hard times with people or there's something to be said about healthful confrontation.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. Wow. That's a good word. Karyn.
I've learned that the church is made up of all different types of people. Growing up, I really didn't realize that because the church that I grew up in wasn't very diverse. And I'm seeing actually that faith church is becoming more and more diverse.
Yeah.
And I love that. And also that the church is full of sinful people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think, oh, I can't go to church because I don't act this certain way. But we're in church because we all need a savior.
Yep.
And we're all broken. And yeah.
I saw a trend. It's going around on social media. I think they've made some merch. I've even seen like people wearing it, but it says, "I'm sorry if anyone ever misrepresented Jesus to you."
So good.
It's so good.
So good.
It's so
Send me the link.
Check it out.
She'll be wearing it at the next podcast.
It's just it breaks my heart to think that there are people who walk away from Jesus because of church hurt or which is real.
Yeah.
It totally is real. It exists. It's hurtful. It's nasty. It's dark. It's wicked. It's all of those things.
Yeah.
But Jesus had no part in that.
Yeah.
Jesus wasn't part of it. So it's just so heartbreaking to think about how many people just up and leave. I'm done. And they don't want to have a relationship with the Lord who just desperately loves them. And so I think that church hurt is something that is so real, but it's also something that we can say, yeah, we mess up.
Yeah.
We get it wrong.
Yeah.
Church leadership gets it wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to put your trust and your faith in Jesus Christ alone.
Yes, absolutely.
You cannot put it into a man because we're going to fail you over and over and over and over and over. Church leaders will fail. And it's sad and it's hard and it's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm not minimizing that at all. I'm just saying, I just wish that people would understand that Jesus had no part in that. And he's just there with open arms, ready to welcome them back into the family.
Yeah. No, I struggle with that too because if that's the only thing they ever see of Jesus, like we can't blame them for walking away. They don't know different. You know, they don't know better.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard.
All right. What do you wish was different about the church?
I would say I wish that we loved people where they were. I think a lot of times when non-believers come to church or people who've walked away and they come back, their sin is so that's what needs to be fixed instead of just let me get to know you.
Yeah.
And like really genuinely get to know them, spend time with them, hang out with them, and let Jesus do the work. There's nothing we can say or do that's going to change their heart or change their mind.
Yeah.
And calling out what they probably already know we're thinking about calling out is not going to help the situation.
Yeah.
You know, that's just going to push them further away.
Yeah. Would you say that like millennials who would be seen as like people who cannot come into the church or think that they're not welcome in the church, do you think that like someone getting to know them and being friendly and going out of their way to make them feel known would be somewhat of a solution?
I think so. I think that it's just the time that it takes. Like it takes time. It takes relationship. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
You're not going to hang out with someone or get to know someone for 1 or 2 days. And then, you know, I mean, Jesus can do anything. He might do it. But in all reality, it might take a long time.
Right.
And just being okay with that and sitting in that discomfort or that awkwardness or whatever it is and just knowing that I'm not doing anything anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah. I think it's so countercultural
Yeah.
because we want everything so quick.
Yeah.
So fast paced. And so it's like, I think maybe even if there's good intention, when people come in and you can automatically think like, okay, this is what I need to help them with, and
Yeah.
this is what I need to solve, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
Get to know them for who they are.
Right.
People aren't projects. That's
That's beautiful.
Slow
Amen.
down, you know.
People are not projects.
No.
And
love
also, it's almost a selfish thing to think that something I'm going to do is going to speed this process along. We are not on my time.
No,
This is not
no.
about,
Yeah, just set the table for the Lord to work.
100%. Just show up.
Yeah,
Show up.
it's huge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that any better. That is, that's my heart as well, that we would just accept people for who they are. I think that the church would allow more mess, because that's what ministry is. It's messy.
Yeah.
And I think we can do a better job at sitting in that mess and not feeling like we've got to move it along, we got to clean it up. Because, we don't do the work. Lord does the work. And I think the other thing I would have to say is that I wish we were more unified on stuff. I feel like there are things that really don't matter that divide the church.
Yeah.
If we all believe in Jesus Christ and that he's our Lord and Savior, that's what matters.
Yeah.
So I would have to say those two things.
You know what's interesting? I would say, like, in this present time, maybe you can fill me in on if this was present when you were growing up, but I feel and see right now that if I disagree with one thing that you say, then all of a sudden you're my enemy.
Yeah.
Like, we can't get along. We're
Yeah.
not friends because of that one thing that we disagree on. We can agree on everything else, but if there's one thing, then now everything I disagree with you on. Was that present for you growing up too?
That has not changed.
Okay, so maybe that's humanity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the same thing, though, because there's like with social media, there's so much more exposure to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people just take sides. Yeah.
It's tough. All right. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from friendships?
It matters who you hang out with.
Hey.
It took me a long time to realize this one. I've been so blessed to have such good people in my life always. I've always had good friends. There were times where I wasn't as close to them as I am now, or whatever the case may be, but you really are who you surround yourself with, and you don't realize it until you're out of the situation.
Yeah.
When you're in it, you can just convince yourself that, no, this is fine, this is great, this is who I want to be.
Yeah.
And then when you remove yourself from it and you realize it's so much better God's way for a reason, and you do need to be surrounded by people who think that and encourage that and want that for you as well.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who's listening or watching right now who is in a friendship that is just draining? What should they do? What is the answer for that? Because it's so common.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you find yourself like, oh my goodness, I'm in this friendship and it's just sucking the life out of me.
Yeah.
Do we stick around? Do we say love you, bye?
Yeah,
Like, what would you say?
I would say definitely pray about it first. Obviously, take it to Jesus. He is the best friend. He will know. And it's okay to grow out of people. It's okay. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't have to be ugly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be toxic. It doesn't even have to be like a full-blown conversation.
Yeah.
But do what you know is best for you and your walk with the Lord, and he will bless it. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to be alone, and he will bring another friend into your life to fill that void that you're afraid of having.
Beautifully said. Karyn?
Why do I always have to follow her?
Well, she's your daughter, so well
Everything
done.
I know, I learned from your mom.
I don't know about that. But, I would say, Christian friendships, people that you can have good God conversations with. It's very important. I think you can quickly find out who your friends are and who your friends aren't. I've lost friends because of life decisions that, I have made or my husband and I have made. And I just say, I guess they really weren't our friends. But yeah, some of my best friends are those that I don't even see that often.
Yeah.
But we cannot see each other for a couple of months and meet for coffee, and it's like we've just picked up right where we left off.
Yeah.
And I think those are some of my best friends.
Friendship's important.
It is.
It truly matters.
It really does.
You're so right for that one. All right. Well, we have learned so much about differences, similarities, But I think it's just beautiful that we're all made in the image of God,
Yeah.
and Jesus can relate to all of us, even though he's fully God, but also fully man.
Yes.
So he understands what we're going through. And I just feel like I need to say, if you don't have that community that we've talked about this entire podcast, if you don't have that friend that you can talk to about the Lord, just know that Faith Church is open for you, but also wherever you are, get plugged into a local church, get into a small group, have community, be in partnership with people around you, because you were created to be in community. That is something that we know for sure. God has created us to be social and to do life with each other. And so it's super important. So I can't stress it enough. Get plugged in, be in a community, be in a small group, be involved in a serving group or in a local church, wherever you are. There's local churches across the entire country.
Yes,
So,
you can find one.
yeah, you can. You can for sure. Well, I'm so thankful for you for joining us. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks for
Karyn.
having us.
Thanks
This was
for having
fun.
us.
This
It
was
was
so
fun.
much fun.
So
Thanks
fun.
for joining the conversation.
Yep.
And we want you to be part of the conversation too. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, please, in the comment section, answer this question. What is one way we can be more like Christ when we're interacting with different generations? What's one way we can serve different generations better? How can we be more kind? So please leave your answer in the comment section. We would love to join the conversation with you. And if you're just listening, you can go to YouTube and comment it on the video, or you can just message us on Instagram at We Are Faith Church. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks,
Thank
Allie.
you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time on More Than a Sunday.